So this is my Betta Fry tank, and this is my first time rearing Betta Fry. So I just want to show you guys what I've been doing to keep them alive and well. A little background info: they're just over 3 weeks old, and they're about a centimeter long, maybe a little bit more, a little bit less, I'm not sure. But let me get started. So as you can see, I got it in a 20-gallon plastic tub, and you could probably get this at any Walmart or whatever local store is nearby. And the reason I'm using this instead of a glass tank is because since this is a circle, the fish are forced to swim in a circular motion. And a glass tank like this one, if something were to startle the fish, they would bolt and they could possibly hit the glass head on, and something like that could possibly kill your Betta Fry. So a tank like this just minimizes the chance from that happening. The next thing I got is a heater, and I keep my water at 82 degrees, and it is always at 82 degrees, and I'll show you that right now. So if the camera will focus, but yeah, just take my word for it, it's at 82 degrees. And the way I do that is, if you have an open top like I do, cover the top with saran wrap, or at least that's what I recommend. And what that will do is it'll keep your water from evaporating, and it'll trap your heat inside, and that's what's going to maintain a constant water temperature. The next thing you're going to need is a sponge filter like I have. You can either buy one or you can make your own. They're pretty easy to do, so it's personal preference there. But basically it's just going to keep your tank clean. It's going to get all the smaller particles out of your water, but it's not strong enough to where your fry will get stuck into it, so that's always good. And you want to keep it on a slow bubble, and as your fry get bigger, you want to increase the amount of air you put into it. So the next thing is, I have a whole bunch of plants, and I think this is mainly for aesthetic reasons, but I got a plastic plant right there, there's a live plant, and then I just took a whole bunch of leaves off of one of my mom's plants. The Betta Fry seem to like them really well. If I can find one, I'd show you, but they don't seem to be maybe there's some, but what they do is they'll usually just sit on top of the leaves, so I have them in there just for that reason, because it's kind of cool. So the next thing is feeding your fry. You want to feed your fry live food, and live foods include brine shrimp, microworms, and vinegar eels. But if you don't have access to that, there's an alternative, and I recommend you guys use Hikari First Bites. This stuff works wonders. I used it during the first week of my Betta Fry, and if it'll focus, you can see it says superior nutritional balance, promotes rapid growth, and they're slowly sinking granules. So, you know, it's a pretty good product. But what it'll do is I'll just sprinkle some around the ring of the tank, and it'll slowly sink to the bottom, so it'll make sure the fry that are swimming at the top, the fry that are swimming in the middle, and the fry at the bottom, they all get fed. Next thing is cleaning your tank. So when I'm cleaning this tank, like you can see, is I have a whole bunch of just snail shit around there. I would take everything out. I would take the leaves, the thermometer, the sponge filter, and all these plants. I would take them out, and I would take my hand and I would make a sort of a circular motion and create a cyclone in the water. And what that does is it'll pick up all the detritus off the ground, and it'll drop it in the center of the tank, so right about where the sponge filter is. And all you gotta do is, once the water settles, you just take a sponge and one swipe and you can get it all. And you want to make sure you don't get your Betta Fry stuck in the sponge, so be careful when you're doing it, but it'll clean your tank really well. I think I mentioned this, but I have a whole bunch of snails in here, so they keep the tank clean. Next thing is the water. So 3 weeks ago when I started off, the water level was right at the tip of my finger, and every day I would add 500 milliliters of water, so just a water bottle, and overnight I would fill this with water and add a couple drops of water and conditioner, and I would just float it in here overnight. And so in the morning when I'd wake up, I would just empty the water out and add a couple milliliters. So as you can see, over the 3 weeks, the water level has risen a couple of centimeters. And once the Betta Fry, the bigger the Betta Fry get, you know, the more and more water you have in here, so the more swimming room they'll have. What else have I forgot to mention? I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, I give them 8 to 9 hours of light a day. This is on a timer. And feeding them, I feed them 2 to 3 times a day. I've even read 5 to 6, but I'm in college, so I don't really have time for that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If I forgot something, I'll make sure I cover it in the description. Thanks for watching my video, guys, and be sure to subscribe to my channel. So take it easy.